Hello everyone, and welcome to my Days of Our Lives official channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Doug and Julie recall Horton Christmases. Doug was gazing at the Christmas tree in the Horton living room when Julie came in singing and brought the Horton ornaments. An image of all the Hortons over a wide span of time, Julie said. Julie gave Doug his decoration, and he pondered when Tom and Alice had given it to him. Alice had stated, "You've come to be practically a member of this family in the short time we've known you, perhaps the only family you've ever known, given that you were raised in an orphanage." At the point when Doug had taken the trimming from Alice, Tom had declared that Mickey had drawn up reception papers. Tom had stated, to make it official, though not exactly legal. Doug grinned as he thought about Tom's warm welcome to him. "Very much like a family, everyone is a gift," Julie said. "Also, none more than you, my affection," Doug countered. With a laugh, Julie noticed that Doug said exactly the same thing consistently. "All things considered, it's in every case valid," Doug said. At the penthouse, Teresa conveyed presents to Tate, since he would show up for Christmas. Tate noticed that he wouldn't be at the karaoke's supper as a result of work. "For what reason is the bar open on Christmas?" Teresa inquired. Brady noticed that Roman probably needed to give a space to individuals who didn't have a family. "I chipped in," Tate said. Tate conceded that he could have done without karaoke's get-togethers. "I won't be going either," Teresa said. Teresa made sense of that she had different plans with her sweetheart, Alex. Tate sighed. "Did that occur previously or after you figured out that he acquired portion of the karaoke's fortune?" Brady inquired. Incensed, Teresa shouted that she was worn out on Brady calling her a gold digger. Tate began to leave. "Where are you going?" Brady inquired. "Any place yet here," Tate said. Teresa asked Tate to remain. "Both my folks are 2 or 3 jerks." "Happy holidays to me," Tate shouted. Teresa scowled at Brady. "That is unsuitable," Teresa said. "In any case, this is both of you battling with one another, and on Christmas Eve, no less," Tate mumbled. Brady and Teresa apologized, and they vowed to get along. "How could I trust that?" Tate said. "Teresa and we will demonstrate to you that we're true about this," Brady said. Brady recommended they observe Christmas Eve as a family. After Brady, Teresa, and Tate requested Chinese food, they ate and snickered in the parlor. Tate referenced when they had gone to General Studios, and the family thought back about the excursion. "Every one of the recollections weren't genuinely awful, right?" Brady said. "Definitely, I surmise not," Tate conceded. Tate grinned at his folks. Brady found out if he had any plans with Holly, and Tate said no. Tate conceded that he had understood that Holly was not keen on him. "However, it's really awful. I previously got her a present," Tate added. Tate strolled over to the tree, snatched Holly's present, and tossed it in the trash. "Why are you throwing away this? You save this, and you give it to the following young lady," Teresa said as she fished the gift out of the rubbish. Teresa called Tate a catch. Tate made the observation that selfies were more attractive to girls at his previous school than to him. "Might it be said that you are anticipating returning to school?" Teresa inquired. Tate shrugged, and he noticed that he had not heard from any of his lifelong companions. "Furthermore, it would be somewhat good to get back home after school consistently," Tate added. Tate said he was glad to be near family. Brady noticed that Tate's live-in school would assist Tate with getting into practically any school he needed. "Is it true or not that you are saying I need to return?" Tate inquired. Brady checked Teresa out. "Your mom and I have concluded that you can go with the choice," Brady said. Teresa said, "You take your time and think about it." Tate stated, "I want to remain." Teresa grinned. "That was fast," Brady said. Teresa was happy. Tate inquired as to whether he was frustrated. Brady said he was glad to have Tate around and shook his head no. Brady, Teresa, and Tate opened presents, and Tate was eager to get another tablet from Teresa. "That will be hard to top," Brady said. "This entire Christmas will be hard to top," Tate countered. Teresa sputtered. "Did we simply get a commendation from our child?" Teresa inquired. "It's a Christmas wonder," Brady kidded. Tate said he was glad to have had a decent night alone with his folks. In the square, Everett and Stephanie plunked down in the bistro to talk business. "Is it safe to say that you are certain I'm not keeping you from any occasion merriments?" Everett inquired. Stephanie said no. "Furthermore, I can utilize the interruption," Stephanie said. "What do you intend to do tonight? When it's all said and done, after our gathering?" Everett inquired. Stephanie said she intended to watch her #1 occasion film and hit the sack. "No plans with family?" Everett inquired. Stephanie said she needed to spend Christmas Eve at home alone. At the Horton house, Thomas and Charlotte embraced Doug and Julie. "The party may now begin," Doug said. Julie inquired as to whether they were prepared for St. Nick. "I surmise," Thomas said. Thomas inquired as to whether they could play higher up in their old room, and Chad said okay. "Christmas is hard for them, right?" Julie asked Chad. "They miss their mother." "Furthermore, Stephanie," Chad said. Julie eagerly greeted Victoria Horton when Sarah and Xander brought the baby. "Victoria Horton cook, really?" Sarah said. Xander radiated. Julie said, grudgingly, "Very well. Victoria Horton cook." "Also, many thanks, Julie, for having me, as well," Xander said. "The first Christmas for a baby only occurs once. Furthermore, if her folks need to be together, then they ought to be," Julie said. Xander said thanks to Julie, and he concurred that he and Sarah needed to be together. "For Christmas. For our little girl," Xander immediately added. As Sarah got some information about Maggie, Maggie strolled through the entryway with Constantine. Julie made a scrutinizing face at Sarah. Doug and Julie were introduced to Constantine by Maggie. "Constantine is a longtime Victor friend, and he had no plans for tonight," Maggie continued. Julie said Constantine was gladly received. Doug whispered to Julie, "That man Constantine reminded me of my younger self," as Maggie and Constantine retreated to the corner. Doug made sense of that he saw something glimmer in Constantine's eyes. "Is this a good or bad flicker?" Julie inquired. "I'm afraid the latter," Doug stated. As Sarah accompanied Maggie into the other room, Doug and Julie watched Constantine interface with Xander. "I trust your little one as well," Constantine said. Xander grinned at Victoria. "She is. Albeit to be perfectly honest, I don't know whether that is thanks to you or forget about it to you," Xander said. In the lounge area, Maggie let Sarah know that she was astonished to see Xander at the party. "No, you win in the unexpected division." "Constantine? I thought he was gone," Sarah said. Maggie made sense of that Constantine had been remaining with a cousin in Ohio, yet the family had left town for these special seasons. "Thus, he returned here," Maggie said. Maggie made sense of that she had run into Constantine in the town square and welcomed him. Nobody ought to be distant from everyone else on Christmas Eve. "Is it safe to say that you are vexed that I did?" Maggie inquired. Sarah shrugged and said that she liked Constantine and was grateful to him for saving Victoria. "At the point when I saw you this evening, you were so miserable, and presently, check you out." "You're grinning," Sarah said. Doug and Julie were informed by Chad when he returned to the living room that the children were video chatting with Jack and Jennifer. It was so difficult for them last Christmas, losing their mom. "I was trusting this year it would be somewhat better," Julie said. "I don't figure it will be for any of us," Chad said. Chad made sense of that it was particularly troublesome on the grounds that his separation with Stephanie had been so abrupt. "The children never got to bid farewell," Chad said. Julie opened her mouth wide. Julie requested Chad to call Stephanie.